Now, before we get into Raw, where I wanted to show Rollins and the Rey Mysterio match, let's get to this Corey Graves situation, shall we, Dave?
You
Um,
shall.
all right. So let's get me pull this up real quick. So let me here. Okay, so in an update from Mr. Everyone's favorite, Dave Meltzer, provided the following update on Wrestling Observer Radio, which noted that Mario is in rough shape at the moment, dealing with his bipolar affective disorder. Dave Meltzer said he's in rough shape. I think everyone pretty much knows the situation. It was pretty bad the last couple of days, so it's pretty bad. Um, it's a day-to-day thing. There's no way of knowing what's going to happen next. It was a very unfortunate situation, and I think we've spoken a lot about it, but it's probably worse than we said. As everybody knows, Mario battles with bipolarism, he battles with depression, and it's pretty bad. Like, he doesn't shy away from it. He does get episodes from here, from now, now and then he'll get an episode, and he'll have to take a break from NXT. But this is seemingly a pretty big issue, and it was over the comments that Corey Graves made during the NXT Takeover match, where the references of pop culture and the how he was talking over Nigel and Beth Phoenix as well. So on his latest podcast, Corey Graves came out and issued an apology. Now, I want you guys to listen to it, and I want your guys' thoughts on the apology because I've heard a lot of people just say it's bullshit. All right? So let's listen to it, and I want to get your guys' thoughts.
Something this past Saturday during the TakeOver War Games event, I sent out a tweet. It was an unpopular opinion, as I often do, with the intention of just stirring up a little controversy, maybe have something fun to talk about on TV or here on the show. It was maybe not the most professional way to go about things, and it was never meant to offend or disrespect or disparage anybody. That was never my intention. If it was taken as such, I apologize deeply. That was not my intention. I would never intentionally cause anybody any undue stress, especially a coworker. So I apologize.
Now,
Okay.
a lot of people have, like in the chat room by Ian Dunn, said it's a weak apology. And because he doesn't mention Morrow's name in the apology. Now, I know some people feel like they think Corey Graves did nothing wrong. Some people think that this is getting blown up bigger than it should. And some people are telling Morrow to grow up. But unless you're in Morrow's shoes and battle what he has battled, who are we to say that Morrow should grow up and get back on TV or whatever have you? We don't know how serious these issues are that Morrow has, or we don't know the type of comments that he was getting on Twitter. Now, you can easily say he doesn't have to read the comments, and you're absolutely correct on that. But some people read those regardless because it's just something implanted into your brain. Now, obviously, Morrow has big issues, and he ended up deleting his Twitter account or deactivating his Twitter account. And he wasn't on NXT this past Wednesday night, and we don't know when he'll be back. Beth Phoenix did, I believe, said, "Hope we see you next week," so maybe that's some positive out of it. But what was your thoughts on this, Dave? I believe I saw you on Twitter saying that you didn't think Corey Graves did anything wrong, or maybe this is getting a little bit blown up, a little bit bigger than it should. What are your thoughts on this whole Corey Graves apology and stuff like that?
See, I don't think he meant to say anything, and I didn't think it was that big of a deal when he said it. I didn't really catch the tweet at first when he said it, like what he was trying to say, but then after it blew up, I did. I think it should be more apology to what he said in the reply under the tweet to somebody, where he said he had something like, "Yeah, they're actually pretty good," and he's like, "Yeah, I know, but you wouldn't know that," or something like you. I think that should be the apology more or less not what he tweeted, but then when he replied to someone said, and they're actually really good. Like, yeah, you wouldn't know that. Or how many times? No, it was how many times he said a rap reference. He's like, yeah, I bet you too many to count or something. I think that was more what he should be apologizing for, not so much the first tweet he sent out. Because I didn't see that big of a deal about it. It's not like he was personally attacking the guy, I didn't think. But to me, the second reply to a tweet under that, to me, that was more of a shot at, and that should be apologizing for. Not so much the tweet he initially sent out. And go ahead.
No, go finish. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, and it's tough. I mean, and stay off because especially when you're at that level, working for the WWE, you're a celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
If you're reading no matter if you do the greatest, you could have the greatest show in the world. Someone's still gonna troll you and say stupid shit to you.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you get it from all wrestling fans.
Yeah. And he's gonna get it whether they like when he did the best commentary ever or not. So yeah.
Ian Dunn says there's a forced apology. Took how long to react due to the backlash. Reverend says Morrow isn't the issue. Corey again is going further than he should. Freedom of speech doesn't mean to go personal and disrespect. Not wrong, but not respectful of his peer. True. Now, a lot of people I've seen on Twitter say that they feel like this was cheap of Corey Graves. That he used this platform, his podcast, to get more views, to get more listens because he did of this apology. Where he could have just did it on his own and posted it on Twitter instead of doing it on his podcast. Now, do you think he should have mentioned Morrow's by name? Maybe
he should have. But I don't think the issue should be with the tweet he sent out. I think it should be with the reply. Because to me, the reply was worse than the tweet he sent out. When he replied to a fan saying he's too many pop culture or too many rap references or whatever, I think that should have been the apology from that.
Right.
Not so much the tweet he sent.
Oh, thank you for the bits there, Jimbo. How you doing tonight? Thank you, everyone, again for joining us as we are live tonight with our Shoot the Shit show. We went over SmackDown already. Now we're kind of going over the rumors and innuendos part. Don't forget, we will be live again next Thursday. No Impact Watch Party this Tuesday night. We're going to take a little break, but we'll be back again on Thursday going over both AEW Dynamite and WWE NXT, and then back again next Saturday night as well. So next week we'll be only live 2 nights next week, so just guys remind yourselves that. No Impact Watch Party on Tuesday. Now, let's continue on with some more rumors and innuendos. And then
what do you think?
Get into
do you think it was too much? Do you think he meant it?
Did I think he meant it? Yes. Now, do I feel like he was trying to start the shit that he stirred? Absolutely not. I don't think he thought it would get as big as backlash as it gotten to where it would affect Morrow to this extreme. I do think that Corey Graves should have mentioned Morrow by name. I don't know why he didn't. I don't know if he was advised maybe not to build it up more. But I really feel like he should have said, "I apologize to you, Morrow. I didn't feel like it was going to get to this extreme. It was more of a friendly jab more than a serious comment."
And how do we know he didn't reach out to Morrow personally?
We don't know exactly. We don't know if he has or not. But I feel like as much, I don't know what his listening views are or whatever have you, but I really feel like he should have dropped Morrow's name. I think if he would not maybe instantly be forgiven, but I think people would not say, "Oh, he's doing this to get more views," or "He's doing this because he has his own agenda," and stuff like that. Because, like Ian Dunn said, it took him more than a week to finally respond to the critiques and the negativity that he was getting because of this Morrow situation. I mean, he even had a back and forth with damn Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez on Twitter as well because of this same issue. Now, and he's gained a lot of, I won't say enemies, but he's gained a lot of people who dislike him, lost respect for him because of his comments towards Morrow. And I feel like Corey Graves, of all people, he's an intelligent man. He knows, because he works with Morrow, how Morrow is, and he's a very sensitive guy. And to those comments, probably to us, who doesn't battle the type of demons, I guess you can say, that Morrow does, we can't judge on how Morrow feels or dare tell Morrow how he should feel. We don't know the type of stuff that he's going through. And I do feel like Corey Graves could have went that extra mile and said, Morrow, I'm really sorry. I shouldn't. I didn't think it was. It was a comment that I said that I didn't think it was gonna blow up the way it did. And I feel like it wasn't so much what Corey said, but I think it was what happened after he said it. Because I think if it was just that, I don't think Morrow would have gotten so butthurt. But imagine the comments that he was probably getting from fans that were agreeing with Corey Graves. Because you see it on Twitter, all the people that don't like Morrow. Imagine what they were saying to him after what Corey Graves said.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks. And to talk about his apology, I don't think he really meant it anyway.
Okay.
Just because the way he said it. He came out like, what, if you were offended by it was a Jim Cornette apology. That's basically what it was. It was like, if you were offended by what I said, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to defend anyone or to defend said person, which he should have said his name. I get it, but yeah, it wasn't a great apology because he's trying to show that he's unfiltered and he can do whatever he wants. And I don't see him criticizing Jerry Lawler or Vic Joseph, on their commentary. So why don't you do something like that instead of attacking someone like Mauro Ranallo, who is known for
He's an easy
that.
target. Morrow's an easy target. I mean,
yeah. No, I don't think what he said or tweeted was meant to be an attack on Morrow. I think he was just trying to be funny or be kind of like with what the fans basically say.
A little
like you said to him, yeah.
Right, what I said to him. Yeah, exactly. Mr. AEW says, funny how he never had similar problems with boxing and MMA. Just shows how unprofessional WWE are, says Mr. AEW. Reverend says, what he didn't say matters too. Exactly, very true. But Mr. Adambaum says, for the record, the tweets weren't the trigger like people think. Ronaldo was getting worse even before the tweet. Mr. AEW says, if Mauro Ronaldo can't take the criticism because of his mental health, he should probably find a new career. Or just not have Twitter. Either one. He cannot. I think social media needs to go away from him, honestly, because it's not doing him any good.
And let's not forget, this is the first time Graves has been surrounded by controversy about something he tweeted. Remember the CM Punk stuff when he was tweeting about that?
Right, yeah.
And that just blew up like crazy, too, when CM Punk lost his second fight.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just that's another one.
Reverend says Jerry would swing on him or give him an on-air response. Yeah, you're probably right. Like, Morton probably swing on him. You're absolutely right. Jerry, as much as I don't like him on commentary, he don't fuck around. I'm sure he would have probably nailed Corey Graves the next time he saw him if he would went a little bit like that. Adambaum says it was dumb. It was drum up some talking points for Survivor Series as he was going to bring them up in a joking manner, says Adambaum. Be a star, anti-bullying message. Get the fuck out of here, says Ian Tunyon. Yeah, it's just a pretty bad situation. And I do hope Morrow returns. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. Tom Phillips didn't bother me. I enjoyed him on commentary. I like Tom Phillips. So not having Morrow on NXT, it didn't bother me.
Now, this is a discussion we had last night, too. But does this hold water or hold weight to the same kind of debate with this? Like, we were talking last night. So Aubrey Edwards, the referees in AEW kind of almost put themselves over in the matches. Now, could you say it almost seems like Morrow was possibly putting himself more over than the other commentators who sit next to him?
That's a good point. That's a good point. I've never really thought of it that way. I think to a point, he wanted to be the guy that everyone talks about. The Mamma Mia, the all these references of pop culture. He was going above and beyond to be entertaining, when he could have just called the match the way it should be. I don't mind him going "Mamma Mia" when something crazy happens, but when it happens, he says it like maybe 2 or 3 times a match. Then it gets a little bit overboard. Or when he's doing these pop culture references, and they seem so damn forced. That's to where I'm like, all right, you need to calm down, because he never was like that. You go back to like 2 years ago, or watch last year's War Games. Did you hear him reference Drake or any of these rappers out in this now? I don't, I'm out of the music game, so forgive me. Like, did you hear him do that? Yeah, he didn't do that. It just recently started coming up to where he's starting to do more of these pop culture references, to where it got to the point to where, like, come on, Morale, just call the goddamn match. Now, I don't think he was purposely trying to put himself over, but I could see why people would think that. Absolutely.
Mm.
I thought
Because
Tom
I don't
Phillips did a
think
good
his
job.
New Japan. I didn't think his New Japan stuff was that bad either. I thought it was really good stuff, and comes to the WWE, and he had the issue with JBL, and now Corey Graves. So yeah, and like Tom Phillips, like you said, he didn't really. Tom Phillips didn't stand out too much, like where he was like just trying to make himself the center of attention, and it seems like that's what Morrow does a lot. Look, I like Morrow. I think he's great on commentary for NXT, but sometimes you almost forget the other two people are there, and that's the point I think Graves is trying to make, but in a bad way maybe.
Right. Just let the guy walk who's going to be next in line to bully. Maybe Vic or Tom Phillips probably would be the next in line. I'm assuming. So
I don't think no one's bullying Nigel or Beth Phoenix. I just don't
or
see it
Jerry
coming.
Lawler. Yeah, just for the record. So